Hello everyone, welcome to the class. In today's lab session, we're going to take a look at how to conduct data mining using RStudio. So the data mining process we're going to follow is CRISP-DM, which includes 6 different steps for data mining. The first step is business understanding. Second step is data understanding. Third step is data preparation. Fourth step is model building. Fifth step is testing and evaluation. And the last step is deployment. So let's take a look at how can we create our codes to follow this process and analyze the data. So the task that we're going to do today is to predict the house price. And the data set we're going to use has already been posted on Canvas. So if you go on Canvas, please download data mining dataset CSV file. So there are 5 different columns in this data set. There's the house ID, house price in $1,000, and the house size in square footage, and then the number of bedrooms, and also the school rating. So basically, we are trying to see among these 3 different variables, which ones can we use to predict the house price. And after we create a model and select the model, what is the prediction result? So now let's start. So the first step from CRISP-DM is business understanding. So you're trying to understand what your business question is. So in our case, the business question is relatively simple and straightforward. We are trying to predict the house price. The second step is to understand your data. So let's read the data into R first. So here, you can change this working directory setup to your own working directory. So let's use a very simple way, which is to go to Sessions and choose Set Working Directory, and then we can choose the directory from here. So in here, we can go to RLab2. So this is where we are pulling the data mining dataset.csv file. So we can click Open, and if you look at the console, this is actually where your working directory is. So if we want to reuse this piece of code, you can actually copy this line of code and then replace it with the line of code in here. So next time if you reopen this R script to run it, you don't need to do any manual tasking. You can directly run this line of code to set your working directory, and then we can start to read the data. So let's read the data mining data set as data. So in here, if you recall from the previous RLab sessions, the function name is read.csv, and then the data we're reading is this data mining dataset.csv file. So we are keeping the headers and we are using the comma as our separator. And for this data set, we are going to name it as data. So let's click run to run this data set. So in this data set, you see we have 181,000 observations. So it's a relatively large data set. Of course, you can view your data by clicking the data in here, or you can use the view function to view this data. But in here, because the data set is relatively large, so you probably don't want to wait that long to actually open and view the data. So we can actually check the first several lines to see how our data looks like. So we can call the data table, and then we can select row number 1 to row number 10, and then after the comma, this is where you define your columns. So we're going to keep all the columns. That's why we're not typing in anything here. So if we run this line, this will pull up the first 10 records from our data set. And we can see that for each one, we have the house ID, we have the house price in $1,000, we have the size, the number of bedrooms, and also the school rating. So if you want to read maybe just a couple lines from one of the variables, we can also do that. So the way we do that is we use the data name $, the column name. So in this case, our data name is data, and then our column name we want to see is the house price .k. So we can use this to show the first 10 records in the house price. Now the next step, what we can do is to understand the statistics of your data. So we can attach the data first so that you can directly call the column names. You don't have to type the data name again. So let's attach the data. And now we can find the mean of each of the variables we are going to analyze in this data set. So let me use the house price .k as an example. So this will be our dependent variable, which is what we are trying to predict in this scenario. So let's find the mean of this house price. So the mean of the house price is actually 500.1233. So now it's your turn. Can you find the mean of the other variables? So I will post the solution on Canvas, and you can check how to find the mean of the other variables.